Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I've had this for a while. Parrish sent this to me quite a few months ago, and me not being that big into the pumpkin beers, and once November rolls around, I usually have no desire to drink pumpkin beers after that. Have no desire to drink them before September, and have not much desire to drink them after Thanksgiving. So that's my window of opportunity for me. A lot of these pumpkin beers come out in June and July, and it's 95 degrees out there. I'm not interested in drinking a pumpkin beer when it's 95 degrees outside. I like to wait till the fall season to have some pumpkin beers, and I've basically done quite a few of them already. And some of them are fairly tasty, and some of them just didn't do much for me at all. But Paris sent me this one. This was from the brewery. This is the 2014 edition of their Ignis Fatuus. Fatuus? Fatuus. I'm probably butchering that up. Ignis Fatuus. Ignis Fatuus. 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 This is an 8.3% ABV. I don't have the IBUs here listed. This beer is retired, so evidently they only did it for this for 2014. Says it's a special brew created just in time for autumn activities. The base is a rich, robust porter that was brewed with an addition of pureed pumpkins. Like all great pumpkin recipes, we then add a subtle addition of seasonal spices to balance with the roasty character. We invite you to enjoy the nuanced flavors while telling ghost stories around an illuminating jack-o'-lantern. So, let's see what this one brings to the table. Like I said, a lot of the pumpkin beers just don't do a lot for me. They're very watery, very bland, and they're just overkill with the nutmeg and the cinnamon. So, food pairings for this, it says dessert, meats, poultry. Glassware, pint, Becker, Nonic, or the tumbler. I'm using the solid beer glass today, guys. It says here, not recommended for instead of selling less ABV exceeds average range. 8.3%. I'd say that exceeds average range, don't you? And this is the big bottle, too. This is the 750. Definitely enough to share. Don't think there's anything else we need to talk about here. So let's get the cap off of this puppy. Just in time for Halloween. So I don't know if this will post before Halloween. I may try to get it on before Halloween. I'm reviewing it on the 28th of October. Big time hiss. Big time hiss. Alright. A little more than a finger of head on that pour. It's pretty dark, guys. It's a pretty dark beer. Even down in the thin part of the glass, not seeing a lot of light. Maybe just a slight hint of some red rubbiness down here around this outside skinny part. Up here, it is pitch black. Good looking beer. Let's get a nose on it. Definitely getting the typical pumpkin pie spices. And the clove, and the ginger, and the cinnamon, and the nutmeg, and the allspice, all your typical pumpkin pie spices. Got a nice sweet smell to it too. Maybe there'll be some pumpkins in there. Mmm. Parrish, thanks again, brother. I do appreciate you sending me the beers. I haven't had any correspondence with you in a while. Hope everything's well on your end out there in California. Not had this particular one, so let's give it a taste and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Parrish. Wow. Got some tartness. Well, the brewery is famous for brewing tart beers and sour beers. This has a little tartness to it. I'm giving it a little bit of Vitoous, or maybe like it was aged in wine barrels or something. Get a little bit of grapes in there. Not as sweet as most pumpkin beers. And on the borderline of tart sour. Very different. Very, very different than your typical pumpkin beer. And I don't think this is aged in any kind of barrels as far as what I've read on both the sites here. So, very, very different. Well, let's put it out of the fridge. Let's let this one warm up and see where this one ends up. Very unique, very different. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got a little left here. I've been sipping on it probably about 30 minutes or so. Okay beer. I was expecting a little more from this. Very tart. Almost on the verge between tart and sour. I am getting the typical pumpkin pie, but it's not sweet like a pumpkin pie would be. It's a little more on the tart side, the tart sour side, than it is on the pumpkin pie sweet side. So very different style. And like I said, this beer is retired. They only brewed it in 2014, as far as I can see, and they retired it. So maybe they weren't impressed with it. I'm not overly impressed with it myself. It's very different than your typical pumpkin beer. Bottle chug. If you like a pumpkin beer that's not super sweet or overly sweet, this may have been a good one to have picked up. But like I said, it's retired, and unless you can find one sitting on a shelf somewhere, they don't brew it anymore. So glad I got to try it. So Parrish, thanks again, brother, for sending it to me. Sorry it took so long to get it, but that's the way things work out sometimes here in this household anyway. And these pumpkin beers and the bigger beers get shoved to the back, and I wanted to go ahead and get it reviewed here. We're at the end of October when I'm reviewing this. I'll try to post. I have a pumpkin in there that I've done twice, and each time that I have not been impressed with. And everybody said, "Oh, this year's better. This year's better." So I picked up another one. I don't know why, because to me that beer, some people just love that beer, and to me it tastes like stale buttery popcorn. I mean, it doesn't blow my hair back at all. But everybody kept saying, "Oh, this year's better, this year's better, this year's better." Okay, so I picked one up, and I stuffed it into the fridge, and we'll see what that one brings. I might go ahead and do that one tomorrow, just to go ahead and get it out of the way, and review it here pretty close to Halloween or the first week of November, just to get those pumpkin beers out of the fridge. like I said earlier, a lot of the pumpkin beers are okay. I mean, I like a couple of them. The Dogfish Pumpkin was tasty to me, and the Shapley Pumpkin beer was pretty good to me, and Southern Tier Warlock was a pretty good one. But a lot of the other ones are just watery and just overkill on the cinnamon and the nutmeg, and just not my style of beer, guys. It really is not. It's hard to get that right balance, in my opinion, my humble opinion, on a pumpkin beer. And a lot of people like those pumpkin beers. That's why they come out in June. You know, if a pumpkin beers come out in June, they're not using fresh pumpkin. They're using canned pumpkin, or not even pumpkin at all. They're just using spices or something to get that pumpkin taste, or a pumpkin-esque taste with all the spices and stuff. And like I said, some of them don't even use pumpkin. They just brew the beer and throw a bunch of nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, and allspice and cloves in there, and it resembles something like a pumpkin beer. So, but anyway, back to this beer. Very tart slash sour, not sweet at all. The spices are there, but they are subdued. They are not prominent. I think it could probably use a little more nutmeg and ginger and cinnamon in this particular beer. And to be as tart as it is, they may even put some candied sugar or something else in there to sweeten it. Maybe even some lactose to sweeten it up just a tad. Just my opinion now, guys. Just my opinion. You might have this and say, oh man, you're crazy. This is the best thing I ever had. And I wouldn't argue with that. Beer taste is subjective, guys. What I may love, you may hate. And what I might give a 5 or a 6 to, you may say, oh, that's a 10 beer to me. And if it is, by golly, it is. So, with that being said, guys, I'm gonna give this a 7. I'm gonna give it a 7, which is a B plus in my scale. I don't think it's an A beer. I really, really don't. As much as I hate to, it doesn't blow my hair back for a pumpkin beer. I think the Southern Tier Warlock is much better than this. So, and I'm sure this was a pricey beer for Parrish to purchase. The brewery beers are not cheap, and on top of that, when they put them in these great big 750 milliliter bottles, they're extra expensive because you're buying such a massive quantity of beer on top of that. But I will give the brewery a thumbs up. They do make some awesome beers, and they do. It's got the 2014 right on the front label. It tells you what the vintage is on it. So it just didn't blow my hair back. I think it's a great beer. I just don't think it's an A beer. It's right at the cusp of it. So I'm giving it a 7. I could very easily give it a 6. And some people might say, oh yeah, you should have gave it an A. To me, it just didn't get to the A. So we'll go over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 81, which is in the good range. If I was putting a numeric rating on this one, giving it a 7, I would say it's probably an 87. That's where I would put it. And going over to Rate Beer says overall 82, but 92 in the style. So 81 and 82, I'm giving it to 87, so I'm definitely giving it the benefit of the doubt, guys. So if you've had this one from the brewery, their 2014 edition of their Ignis Fatuus, F-A-T-U-U-S. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how this old country boy is saying it. So if you had it, let me know what you think, guys, and come on back tomorrow. Let's see what we're going to dig out. Might do that pumpkin. Let's see.